who comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Man, Leisure, you got here before the end of the song. It's, the biggest problem I had for the longest time was people were not getting the notification that I was live. So that's mostly Facebook, though. Facebook just doesn't like me. Been a long time since I canceled any of my shit, though. I remember I had pissed the people off enough that somebody reported one of my videos for sexual content, and they just shut me down for 29 days. They didn't bother to investigate. Nothing. So, yeah. Morning, Amber. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy Sober Friday. It's snowing in the Mile High City. Leisure was talking about clouds in his live. He does it's called the Wednesday edition on Instagram and I believe X. Where else do you put that, Leisure? But yeah, maybe the government's making it snow because it's the weekend. That's not what he was talking about, but I'm just making stuff up. Today we're talking about choices. We're talking about choices and whether alcoholics have choices or not. I'll do the best that I can. Not quite awake. But yeah. Hope everybody's having a good day. Got a meeting at 10 o'clock with Adams County, access to care. Yeah. It's $40. Who knows what we're going to talk about? I mean, I don't know. There's interesting stuff and there's good people on the team. So, Amber says the Easter event is in town is rain or shine. I think they're going to go even in the snow. Yeah. When I was growing up, didn't matter what the weather was in Utah. We still had Easter. But boy, do Mormons love their Jesus. Easter's for the kids. If the kids don't mind the snow, let them fucking do it, man. In fact, it's easier to find painted eggs in the snow. Right. All right. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Still got my Barry White voice going on this morning. So can't get enough of my love, baby. There wasn't even close. I sound more like a sleazy barman piano, dude. Do you think Jesus will see his shadow on Sunday? Let's hope not. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the wee watts. The wee watts. We all the way home. Heather says, hey there, I'm barely awake myself. Another 12-hour night shift in the books. Oh, man. I hope you get some sleep. Right. I used to do overnights. Done overnights at a couple places. They're different. Definitely different. Yeah, definitely. All right. First, before we get started, let's talk about the obsession.
One of my favorite stories
of the disease. All right. No, that's not what we were going for. I've been listening to this. Oh, mornings, Tyler. Unexpected surprise. Tyler has entered the room. All right. But let's talk about the obsession a little bit and why we have the obsession. All right. Alcohol, like other drugs, alcohol, yeah, and not like other drugs. I'm not even going to add that into it. Has a powerful effect on the brain, producing pleasurable feelings and blunting negative emotions. So whenever you drink, see, that's why it was always there for you. That's why you think that alcohol was always there for you. Gave you that, hit that pleasure center. Remember how excited you would get? Been all day. It's Friday, 5 o'clock. You're finally off work and you can drink like you want to. Remember that exciting feeling that you got? Yeah, that was your brain. That's the obsession of alcohol. It activates your reward center. We alcoholics haven't been really rewarded most of our lives. So when we find alcohol, man, I know that's what happened to me. Finally found something that agreed with me. I was finally happy. I finally felt genuinely happy. Heather says, sing us a song. You're the piano man. I'll sing other Billy Joel songs. It's one of my favorite artists. So I think Billy Joel's back at like 3-4 years. He seems to go like 15, 20 years and then slips, and then 15, 20 years, and then he slips. And he has a lot of songs about the piano man. Listen, it's about alcohol. It's all about drinking in a bar. Leisure says, you mean people wait till they were off work to start drinking? I did. If I drank at lunch, I didn't go back to work. I didn't go back to work. So yeah, sucked, but I waited till I was off work. Not very long, but if I drank at work, there's no way I would have gotten anything done. See, I couldn't do the 1-2 shooters every hour, whatever. Once I started drinking, it was for blackout. It didn't matter what time I started drinking. Once I started drinking that day, there was no stopping until I passed out. So, right. What is the mental obsession of an alcoholic? The mental obsession is described here. The idea that somehow, someday he will control and enjoy his drinking is the great obsession of every abnormal drinker. So I'm going to go with the first choice. Did you have a choice of whether you were an alcoholic or not? The answer is no. You could have been raised in the best family in the world. You could have had the best. You could have been spoon-fed. There could have been a lot of different variables out there, but you could have had a pristine life, and you still would have been an alcoholic. So I'm going to let you know this, because we can't. If you think that you're going to break a generational curse of alcoholism, you better think again, because it ain't going to happen. I wish I was wrong, but I'm not. What the best that we can do is prepare them. That's the best that we can do. We can be a very good example, but you cannot break the cycle of alcoholism. I am not God. Can I break other generational curses of anger and no communication and understanding and unconditional love? And yes, we can. We do have that choice. Okay. But I tell you now, once I started drinking, there wasn't anything out there that was stopping me. Morning, Julia. It's good to see you. Tyler says, can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. It's 5 somewhere, right? Heather says, I waited till I was awake. Good afternoon, Patricia. It's good to see you. Okay. So in the beginning, did you have the choice? Did you have a choice to be an alcoholic or not? Where did somebody present you? Hey, you got a choice here. You can either be an alcoholic or no, mm-mm, no. It's in our DNA, man. It's the biggest difference between alcoholism and all the other addictions out there. Alcoholism, you're born with. Not everybody agrees with that, and that's okay. You don't need to agree. You just need to understand. There'll be a point in life when you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, Dion was right. Because you'll try and stop the alcoholism with your kid. You'll see it in them or your grandkids. You'll see it in them because they'll act just like you did when you were a kid. And you'll know. Okay. Get them to do some prevention stuff, things like that. Make sure they stay away from hard drugs. There are things that you can do to prevent. Right. So this is a kind of a reading today. And this will probably be a little bit shorter than usual. I got to go to at least 5 minutes before 10 so I can set up for the meeting that I'm going to. It's on Teams. I'm going to do it through my phone. So I can turn the camera off and do what I need to do while I listen. All right. So April 18th, we were reading out of A Day at a Time. It is Hazelden Literature. Not quite AA approved, but from my understanding, Hazelden Literature is on the list of approved literature for Alcoholics Anonymous. I really like Hazelden Literature. Hazelden is a great program that has not changed their ways. They have not done it. They are still the same program, and they're the best treatment center out there. Okay. Most people I know would not be able to afford it. Gotta have a lot of money to go to that one. But we can use their literature. All right. When the program, we know full well the futility of trying to overcome our addictions by willpower alone. At the same time, we do not know that it takes great willingness to adopt the program's 12 steps as a way of life that can restore us to sanity. Willingness is usually created by desperation. Willingness comes from inside, but it starts with an outside force. Nobody came to the program willingly. They came for appeasement. What was the appeasement? To appease the people that wanted us to quit drinking. It's usually what it is. See, Heather's parents did it. I was warned by my parents that alcoholism was in my genes. However, my self-will run riot. Alcoholic brain knew better, or it thought it knew better. It's actually pretty easy to do with my kids because they saw my alcoholism. And so I say things like, you remember when Dad was doing this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're doing it right now. Don't do that. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes my kids have to use the bad examples that I was so that they don't repeat the same thing. Those are the generational curses we can break. Big one's the anger. All right. Tyler says, I wasn't willing till I was desperate. Yeah. And desperate comes from outside forces. Loneliness, that's an outside force. Police, DUIs, courts, significant others, kids, grandkids, aunties, uncles, doctors. All the people that we call friends of AA, those are the outside forces that help us get to a point of desperation. Sometimes they need to do things that they don't really want to do to get you to a place so that you don't like the consequences, so that you will quit drinking. That's usually how it works. it usually means that the consequences now outweigh the effect of the alcohol, and you are no longer willing to accept those consequences. And I'll tell you the number one reason. When we find out how much we are affecting the people we love, that's usually what changes an alcoholic, in my experience. Julia says, my family knew there was something wrong with me. Yeah. I was an odd duck also. Yeah. Leisure says, I was warned too, but if I had listened to people, I would have had to stop drinking, and I didn't want that. But y'all knew where to go and what to do. You're here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of shit. It worked. It worked. You were saved from the last 10, 15 years of literal hell. It worked. So you didn't have a choice to be an alcoholic. That wasn't a choice. The choice is the length. The length, the amount of time that you stay out there drinking and abuse yourself. You can shorten that amount of time. But you got to get to them before the first drink. Yes, I hear you, whiny baby. No matter how severe our addictions, we discover with relief that choices can still be made. For example, we can choose to admit that we are personally powerless over chemical dependency, that dependence upon a higher power is a necessity, even though this can be simply dependence upon our group in the program. Dude. One of my cats tried to jump up here and he failed entirely. Come here. Come here. There you go. He just wants to be in my lap. Have I chosen to try for a life of honesty and humility, of selfless service to my fellows and to God as I understand him? That's a choice. All right. Julie says, I was an angel as a kid, so it was a real terrible problem and they didn't know what to do. Yeah, I'm sure you were a great kid. I wasn't a bad kid. I just kind of did what I wanted, but I wasn't horrible. I was a decent kid. My little brother Trevor, he was a more decent kid than I was, and he's got our disease, right? Yep. It's when the alcohol starts, right? So when we're drinking and we have the obsession, do we have the choice to drink? No, we do not. No, we do not. My meeting starts in 15 minutes. And then it's like, Shannon, doctor, 21 hours ago. Okay, thanks. Glad you reminded me 21 hours ago. It's warm in here. It's hot in here, Eddie. Now you're going to sit up there. You just want to be close. Okay. That's usually not the cat that visits me during this, but he's taking a nap. Once the obsession is removed, do you have the choice of drink? Yes. Yeah, you do. You did it this morning. You chose not to drink this morning. Maybe you didn't even think about it. But you had choice. Instead, you decided to come here and listen to Dion. That was a choice. You choose to go to God now. And the power of that choice is huge. Yeah. Doesn't it feel good when you're the priority? When people make you a priority, doesn't it feel good? Well, imagine how God feels when you decide to pick him over alcohol. There's love received there. there is love received. And love is the most powerful agent I have ever found. God is love, pure love, unconditional love. So I get a lot